This is a website called Music City Miracles. Jimmy Morris has joined us before, and we're going to check in with Jimmy right now this morning to find out the latest on Chris Johnson and raise those questions. Are they scheduled to meet this morning? GM Mike Reinfeld, Joel Siegel, his agent, and him. Where are they meeting? Is it happening right now? What's the latest you can give us?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I really know is he did get here last night. Obviously there were a bunch of people at the airport, and I asked a few questions. He didn't really have much to say. I would assume that they're meeting at some point this morning over at Baptist Sports Park, which is where the Titans' offices are. The thing that's come out the last, really since this weekend, has been that how far apart they are on parameters. The only thing that we'd really heard from either side was about 2 weeks ago when Mike Reinfeldt came out and said that they were willing to make him the highest paid running back in the game. But said that they hadn't made an offer that he had to be here for them to do that. Well, he's here now, but now they're going to start to work on, I guess, the distance between what the Titans think he should be paid and what he thinks he should be paid.
Okay, so the parameters have been set. Mike Reinfeld, as you said, the GM of the Titans, came out a little while ago and said, look, we're willing to make him the highest paid running back in the NFL. Chris and his guy, Joel, came out and sort of hinted, I guess the question is this etched in stone in your mind, that he wants to be one of the highest paid playmakers in the league. Now, also on top of this, Larry Fitzgerald, as a receiver, just signed an interesting deal. And the reports are that Chris Johnson wants $39 million, $13 million a year over 3 years. Is that all that you're hearing also?
Yeah, I mean, you've heard a bunch of different numbers floated out there. The Titans did kind of, Freddie Gonzalez this deal, if you will, by not getting it done before the Cardinals got Fitzgerald's deal done. Because, I think that if, let's say Chris Johnson's number was $30 million. He had to have $30 million or he wasn't going to sign. I think as soon as Fitzgerald got 50, it probably went up $5 to $10 million.
Describe the Matt Hasselbeck feeling around there.
Good. I mean, he has been kind of what they expected. He's a good leader. There was some noise earlier a couple weeks ago about him having some trouble picking up the terminology, but they said that's normal after being in Seattle for so long. Coming here, it's like speaking a completely different language. He's been what you'd expect. The thing with Hasselbeck is going to be, can they keep him up? Because he's been injured the last few years. That's going to be the big deal with him. He's an accurate quarterback. He's a good leader. That's what they're gonna run a lot of the West Coast type stuff with him. He's been good with that stuff so far. I think that the key for him is, can they keep him healthy? And then he needs Chris Johnson on the field. Obviously, he needs Kenny Brent on the field. They need the tight end Jared Cook to step up. They've been featuring him in a lot of stuff early on. They really like some of the mismatches he can create. So. A lot of it, I think, with him, I think he can have a good year. I don't think he's the Matt Hasselbeck of 5 years ago that took that team to the Super Bowl. But I think he can have a good year as long as they can, keep him healthy.
Well, and on top of that, you write an article about, of course, that the Titans drafted Jake Locker, hopefully the quarterback of the future. And on your website, Music City Miracles, you write an article about adding Matt Hasselbeck is a great move for Jake Locker. I mean, that's the formula. That's the ideal formula. Unless, the Troy Aikmans and the John Elways of the world, they just threw him to the wolves, and they, in the long run, were better off for it. But Jake Locker gets to learn under Matt Hasselbeck. So far, so good with that situation?
Yeah, that's a great situation because Hasselbeck and Locker knew each other. They had worked out together before. So they had an existing relationship. I think that they both said all the right things. Jake Locker has said, I'm here to compete. But no animosity and that kind of stuff. They paid Hasselbeck. They gave him 3 years, $21 million, $9 million of it in year one. So obviously they're paying him to be the starter this year, and then the money decelerates, and so they would hope. I think privately they're hoping that Jake Locker is the guy in 2012.